you want to gain mass and size? Here's how you should work out. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click push notifications so you can stay up to date with all our current fitness talks. All right, so scenario number 3. This is where we are trying to gain muscle mass or gain size. Now, that is something that I've always struggled with throughout my life, and that's what I focused on specifically in my master's program. So I'm going to give you guys a lot of statistics behind why this works and specifically the optimal training performance that we can do to combat it. The first thing we want to look into when we're trying to gain weight and we've reached a plateau is we need to increase our caloric outtake. So this is going to go back to our nutrition, where we have to simply put more calories in our body so we have the ability to gain more weight, right? You can look into something like a mass gainer, right? Something with 900 calories per shake. You could look into something like creatine, which we can talk in a different type of nutrition talk. We can go into that into more depth. What we also want to do is we want to not just increase our strength, not just increase our size, we want to increase our mobility, our flexibility, our proprioception, which is the body's awareness throughout space, and our neuromuscular control, which is the ability for the nerve to fire the muscle. Remember, a muscle will only fire as well as the nerve allows that muscle to fire. So what we're going to talk about are some programs that we can do specifically to get us to help gain weight, get bigger muscles, and increase our size. The first thing I want to talk to you about are the different types of programs. First off, we have something called hypertrophy. Now, hypertrophy, to me, is my favorite type of exercises. It's what I do most of the time. What we are focusing on in hypertrophy, we are doing a 60 to 80% of our 1 rep max. So if my 1 rep max, if I can do squat 100 pounds, I want to do 60 pounds to 80 pounds of that. I'm going to do that 3 to 4 sets, and I'm going to do 8 to 12 reps with 30 seconds to 90 seconds rest in between. Now, when we go to our strength is going to be about 85% to 90 or 95% of our 1 rep max. So again, if I can only squat 100 pounds, in my strength day, I am going to be putting up 85 pounds to 95 pounds. Now with that, I'm going to be doing 3 to 5 sets of only 3 to 5 reps. Remember, it's a lot heavier weight, and we're going to need 3 to 5 minutes of rest time in between because our body needs the ability to rest so it can then push that heavy amount of weight, and we will fatigue during our strength days. And the final day that we're talking about is our power day. So power is a little different. We are only doing about 40 to 60% of our 1 rep max. Here we're going to do 3 to 5 sets of only 4 to 6 reps. And what I like to do to increase my power is I will put bands on my weights, and that way I have to activate my muscle throughout the full range of motion. I'm sure you've recognized there's a certain point at your lift where gravity or momentum kind of just takes over. When we're using bands, that is no longer applied. So we have to be able to push at that end range. That's where we get that explosive power, that jumping. We can also do sprinting for power as well, jumping, or any type of HIIT workout that will work as well. So my optimal performance plan for you for muscle gaining, here's how we're going to do this. In weeks 1 to 4, we're going to work out 5 to 6 days a week. We're going to do a lot of hypertrophy. Now, remember, like we talked about earlier, we always want to start off the week doing legs. So on Monday, we're doing hypertrophy legs. That's all we're doing. We're going to be doing heavy, squats, lunges, leg extensions, leg curls, whatever it is that you like best, but you want that 60 to 80% of your 1 rep max, 8 to 12 reps. On Tuesday, we're going to go into our hypertrophy back and biceps. Personally, you could do chest if you want. I like to do back before chest in my week because I think it's more important to have a bigger back. Also, the chest muscles are about twice the size of our back muscles, so you want to do a little bit more back than chest so we don't have this forward head, rounded shoulders posture. On Wednesday, that's when we're going to be doing our hypertrophy chest, shoulders, and triceps. Now, Thursday, we're going to need a rest. Remember, we're going to be fatigued because we are shocking our body to get out of a plateau. So Thursday, you just rest. Take the day off, go for a walk, and that's about it. Friday is when we get into our strength training. So we are going to do strength legs and strength chest. And what that is going to do is that's going to shock our nervous system, because now we've just done 3 days straight of hypertrophy training at 60 to 80% of our 1 rep max, 8 to 12 reps. Now we're going into that heavier level, that 85 to 95% of our 1 rep max. Remember, we're decreasing the amount of reps that we're going to do, but we're pushing a significantly higher amount of weight. And then on Saturday, we're going into our power, mobility, and neuromuscular re-education day. So very importantly, real quick side tangent, neuromuscular re-education is super important because we need to be able to have our nerves control our body. Our muscle can only contract as well as the nerve allows it to. So if we don't have good neuromuscular education and our body does not have good nerve connections, then we are not going to be able to build as much size. That's going to be our first 1 to 4 weeks of our training program to be able to build our strength. Now, when we go to our next part from 4 to 6 weeks, we change it up a little bit. Now, you're only going to decrease actually the amount of times you work out a week. Instead of doing 5 to 6 days a week, you're only going to do about 3 to 4 days a week. Now, we're still going to have some hypertrophy, but we're probably going to add a little bit more strength in that capacity throughout our week. So for this situation, we're going to have Monday, we're going to do legs and chest for hypertrophy, right? Still going to get that muscle building. Tuesday, we're taking the day off, we're resting. Wednesday, we're going to go into our back, shoulders, and arms for our hypertrophy, and then taking off once again on Thursday to rest. We want more rest because our body is now fatigued. We have to be able to recover, and we actually grow when we're resting, not while we're working out. And then on Friday, we can do either, we're going to do our strength day. So we're either going to do legs and chest, or if you want to add Saturday, we can just do legs on just Friday, and then we can do chest and maybe add a little bit of back on Saturday. That will give you another 6 weeks of a program to be able to build more muscle strength. And remember, the goal is we're trying to reshock our body, which is why we are switching between hypertrophy, strength, and power. If we just only did hypertrophy, we'd go back to that plateau. If we only did strength, we'd go back to a plateau. If we got power, we'd actually probably end up losing muscle mass because it's only 40 to 60% of our 1 rep max. In conclusion, guys, when we want to talk about whatever it is that we have to do to beat our weight loss plateau, our weight gain plateau, or our toning plateau, the ultimate goal, you have to shock your body. You have to hit that nervous system with a new stimulus. And that is the way that the body will be able to regrow, to restart the metabolism that it needs and get out of that phase where it's gotten too comfortable doing the same thing over a certain amount of times. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for joining our talk on how to gain mass and size. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click push notifications to stay up to date with all our current fitness talks. If you like this video, you can click the thumbs up button. You can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We'll see you next time.
Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on push notifications so you know when our next workout posts.